Yay! Okay, Team Call Tuesday. It is Tuesday, November 8th, and I'm really excited about this topic today because it kind of like came last minute. Like Meg had this great idea. So we were on this incredible leadership call earlier today around noon, like a mastermind call, and so much amazing stuff came out of it that afterwards we were literally like, wait, where do we even focus on the team call tonight? Because there are so many incredible nuggets. So we decided on this particular topic because it's something that you can literally take away and start thinking about and implementing right now in your conversations with people, and as you're thinking about posting and attracting people into your business. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. Does anyone have any shout outs though before we start? I would love to give a huge shout out to Laura, who shared an amazing video of her why today in our Coach Basics. And she was so just genuine and authentic and vulnerable. And I'm just so excited for her to be on this team, and her journey is going to inspire so many people. So anyway,
Thank you. Thank you.
You're amazing.
I want to give a shout out to Brenny, who has 2 rock stars in our Coach Academy this month, one of whom is Miss Stephanie. This is our first team call, so I'm super excited to welcome her to our team call. This is part of our larger team. There are a bunch of teams going on all up in here. But yeah, I'm super excited that you're on the call tonight, so hopefully you'll take some nuggets away from what we have to share.
And one more shout out. I want to give a shout out to Kelsey as well, because she's like coming back, baby. And she's got some like goal setting that she's done, and she's like rebranding herself. And it feels like, I don't know, I'm just getting this great vibe and energy. So I'm just excited for her to end this year strong, and just to see where kind of this next chapter takes her. So, and happy Beachbody anniversary that happened like last week, right? Last week? Yeah. Okay. I'm good. So Meg, did you want to kind of intro the topic and then share your screen, and then we can go from there, do you think?
For sure. So first, Linz, do you mind just muting everyone, por favor?
Nope, doing that now.
Okay, we're good. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen now, because I can't multitask. Da, 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 da. Okay. Bloop. Oops. Okay, so when I was trying to come up with the topic, like the actual title for what this call was, I was like, oh, this is a headache. But the who and starting with the why instead of the what. And you're all like, okay, you're mental. But I promise you. What, Linz?
It's like a Dr. Seuss book.
I know, which is why it's actually kind of really fitting for me, because my life is essentially a Dr. Seuss book. But I'm really excited to dive into this. Like Lindsay said, we had a really great mastermind call with some of the other leaders in our much larger team today, and we're excited to bring those nuggets piece by piece over time to all of you. In teaching you duplication in your businesses and all kinds of greatness. But today's topic, I feel, is, pretty basic for the most part, but so incredibly important. So Lindsay's going to start off by talking a little bit about the who, the people that you're reaching out to, the people that you're looking for, the people that you're attracting. Because remember, we're not just inviting them now, we're attracting these people into our lives, and we're connecting with them, and then we're inviting them. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about leading with why and more of a story than leading with the what. And we'll dive into what the what is with a pretty classic example. I was able to find a conversation. Well, it's not even really a conversation. It's more like me talking to myself. I reached out to a lovely lady that we all know as Kayla Provost back in the day, Buffet. and I have that screenshot, and I'm going to sort of show you what not to do. Lindsay is going to do a beautiful job of showing us what we do as coaches when we reach out to people effectively and lead with our stories and lead with our hearts. So without further ado, Linz, why don't you kick it off with the who?
Okay. So we first become Beachbody coaches. We just have the idea we want to help people. And I don't know about you, but right away, I wasn't thinking about who I could or would help. I was just thinking about helping. And unfortunately, we can't help everybody. There are people who are going to dig us in our stories and get us and connect with it. And there are people that are going to be like, I do not get you at all. How could you possibly help me? There is someone better out there to help me. So it's really important for us as we're building our businesses, as we're doing our social media planning and doing our posts, that we really connect with who we're trying to help and who we can help. So the first thing really to do is to reconnect with your story. Really think about, and honestly, I recommend writing it down. Make a video of yourself saying it. We might think we know our story, but I don't think we even really truly dive into the depths of it until we take that time to sit down and write it down or say it out loud. So it's important, step one, to really reconnect with what your story is. Who were you and where were you before you were a Beachbody coach, or even before that, before you started a Beachbody program? And, how did you transform into the person you are now? And why were you called to create this business? Really sit down and think about these questions and write down the answers to them. Because from that, if you think about it this way, basically the person you can help best is the person that you were before you began your Beachbody journey. So by reconnecting with where you were in that moment, how you felt, what were your struggles, what were your challenges, that's the person that you're talking to as you're posting. So again, think about too, like, who do you love to work with? Like, list out some adjectives about them. Like, are they uplifting? Are they, what do they love to do? Where do they hang out? Like, all of these types of things. Who do you love to work with and why? And again, when you're posting, think about how you talk to that friend at a coffee shop. Like, don't use technical language and Beachbody language. Like, just pretend you're chatting with somebody. If you had a crazy morning, like, dictate it as you would just saying it out loud rather than like worrying about grammar and stuff like that. And then, lastly, again, you're talking to the person you were, but also the person you are now. Like, have you grown? Are you a confident person right now? Then let that confidence shine. And also the person you want to be. Visualize where you want to be in 5 years from now and put that out into the universe. And do posts like that too. Like, do you want to be traveling? Do you imagine having this like huge tribe? It's already there for you then. You're just taking those steps to get there. Start omitting that and putting that onto the universe and into your posts. And that's how you're going to start attracting those other people into your business because you're already talking to them. Secondly, so that's reconnecting with your story and all of those elements. Secondly, expanding your network, but with intention. So something that stuck out with me from the call earlier today is someone was relaying a story about how she felt like she was attracting people into her life and on her social media who were moms, and she was single and she wasn't a mom. And she's like, why do we keep attracting moms into like we can't connect with each other? So her coach, her upline coach, went and looked at like her recent friend requests, and they were all moms. So she was friend requesting kind of like everybody without actually thinking about the people she was friend requesting. And this kind of can make it challenging because that means we're not really connecting with our tribe. So, connect with intention with people you really genuinely can relate to and that you think can relate to you just by poking around a little on their page or who are their mutual friends, things like that. Another way of doing this is in Facebook groups. Facebook groups are super important. Like, I belong to yoga ones. I'm in like an empath one. I'm in like a bunch of different, like there are food ones. There are so many Facebook groups out there where you can, and I don't mean starting to like talk about Beachbody in these groups. I mean just making some friends. It's hard to make friends these days. People say it's hard to be single and go and like dating and the whole thing. I don't know about you, it's kind of the same with friendships. Like, I don't just go out to a bar and meet friends, right? Like, we meet people online. This is just the way of the world now. So instead of going to bars, we're going to Facebook groups and we're hanging out and we're like meeting new people. You really need to have that mindset when you go into it. Some of my closest relationships now are people in my twin mom group. In fact, a few of them are coaches on the team now and this has been a relationship we've built over the past 2 years. So really important to do that as well. And then, lastly, really think about where you like to hang out online, and also like, what are your favorite websites? What are your favorite blogs? And what are your favorite social media channels? But specifically for the first two, the websites and the blogs. So for example, I love this girl, Yoga with Adriene, right? So I actually go to her Facebook page, and I've friend requested like other people on that page who comment on her posts when I like their comments. And I'm like, yes, that's how I feel about this post too. Other food websites, Skinny Taste. If there's a favorite blog you have, Scary Mommy, like they all have Facebook pages. So start interacting with those people. Danielle Laporte has a Facebook page. Like anything that you vibe on and you love, like go to their page and you comment and interact and become a part of that community and see who else is participating in that community too. So these are all places that you can immediately start kind of building your tribe and community and expanding your network. And lastly, social media channels. Like, do you hang out on Pinterest? Do you hang out on Instagram? And truly, you don't have to like run your business on these social media channels. But if you're on there, oftentimes people on Pinterest will have a link to their Facebook page. Did they repin a recipe of yours, or did you pin a recipe of theirs? Reach out and be like, holy moly, I checked out that recipe. It's incredible. I made it last night. Just genuine connections with people in places you might not think right now that you can make connections with people, but you can. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, dude. For sure.
Okay, that's my spiel.
And one thing, going back to the reconnecting with your story, doesn't matter how new you are to the business, start sharing your story. Because the only way you're going to, get your business off and running and get those eyes on you is by sharing what you're doing every day to better your life through nutrition, through fitness, through mindset work, through this incredible community that we have. So, don't like wait for, the green light to start sharing what you're doing on social media. Start putting out those nuggets of inspiration now. And, maybe for some of you, maybe you've been in this business a while, go back to your Facebook or wherever it is your primary social media source is for running your business, and scroll through your timeline and ask yourself, am I really putting that vibe out there? Am I really sharing my story on a daily basis? I have heard before that, and this is something I need to work on more, but I've heard before that, your timeline should be like 20% your business, meaning like 20% what you're sharing in regards to your health and fitness journey or your business and your tribe, your community, et cetera, and 80% just you, your life, the happenings that are going on, your kids, your other work that you do that you love, the things that you do on the weekends with your boyfriend or your spouse or this or that. Like, I'm not saying, start, breadcrumbing relentlessly every single day so that everything on your timeline is Beachbody. But, go back and check that and see, like, am I dropping a nugget every single day that says, this is what I do, this is the way that I can help you. So not only reconnect with your story, but make sure you're sharing it every single day. And one thing about Facebook groups, and I know we've said this before, but maybe this is new to some of you, people who are in these Facebook groups, and Linz, I wonder if you're in the same empath group that I am in, because I'm in one too. But they're a special breed of people. Like, they really are. They don't just like go into these groups because they're like, they don't want to like connect with people. They're in these groups to connect with like-minded people. So hone in on that. Take advantage of that. And I don't mean that in a slimy way. I mean, like, this is a golden opportunity for you to connect with people who are already saying, yes, I want to connect with people who are like me, okay? So don't feel weird about that. And like Lindsay said, don't like spew Beachbody at them. Just go in there with the mindset that you're going to create relationships. Sorry, I just had to share those nuggets. So start with the why. So one thing that I really want you to keep in mind when you are having conversations with people, whether it's online in Facebook Messenger or organically in person, or when you go to invite somebody to either a challenge group or even this business opportunity, you guys. Think sharing, not selling. That's something that like I share with my team all the time because like, you know, when we all start out, like we sort of fail forward. No, we do fail forward, like a lot. And we learn like what works, what doesn't work. And guys, people don't like being sold. And we have to focus on that mentality of sharing. And then think problem solving, not product pushing. Okay. I know a lot of people tend to think like, oh, I just don't want people to think that like I want their money or that I'm trying to sell them something. Reconnect to how you feel, how these products and these programs have changed your life, how this opportunity has changed your life. If you see that somebody is lacking in a certain area of their life where you too at one point in your life were lacking or feeling like crap about, you have a solution to that. And that doesn't mean you say, by the way, I am picking up on the sense that, you know, you want to lose 20 pounds and I have the perfect program for that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is take note and just know that you have these tools that you can use to help people. Problem solving, not product pushing, okay? So starting with the why. First is your mission. And this is different from your why or your vision. Because your vision is like your long-term, where you want to be in 5 years, you know, where you want to live, who you want to be, the successes you want to have in your life at this point, maybe who you want to be surrounded by and the things that you're able to do in your life that maybe you're not able to do right now. Your mission is, why do you want to help others? And a huge part of that is reconnecting to your story and obviously knowing who you were before you said, yes, sign me up. Not necessarily for this coach opportunity, but, you know, perhaps in some case, yes. But, you know, just saying yes to getting started, to making that self-loving commitment. Who were you before you were, you know, welcomed into this incredible community that we have? Before you were supported by somebody, a coach, a success partner, a business partner, like, what is it that you want to give to other people that has been given to you? Think of all the ways that you have grown. If you could give that unbelievable gift to somebody else, how powerful is that? You know, oftentimes, like, and I've used this analogy before, like you go to a restaurant, you have a really good experience, you know, you're telling all your friends and your friends' uncles about that restaurant because you had a great experience. Why wouldn't you talk it up? But the same goes for this, but even more so, because what we're offering here isn't, you know, a nice dinner, a nice meal out. It's a lifestyle change that helps people in incredible ways that I won't get into because I'll get so off topic, but you know what I mean.
Meg, do you want me to share my mission real quick to give like an example?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have this written that it's like up on my vision board. And just to give you an example, because I did this about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and it's helped me so much because like I think sometimes we get too much in our own heads about Beachbody and we forget actually our unique gifts and like how we can impact and change the world and how we want to change the world. So mine is help people see how amazing they are, remove their blocks, and then watch them just blossom and do the things they've always wanted to do. So like whenever I approach people or posting or anything like that, I literally am like, okay, how can I help this person see how unbelievably awesome they are? What is this person's challenge? Because I want to help to unblock it. You know, and then once you're able to do that, like that last part of it, and then you watch them just grow. And like, that's my mission. So really think about what your mission is. It's only a one sentence thing. Is it about helping people live a healthier lifestyle? Is it like, what is that grand purpose you have in life? And then you can infuse Beachbody into it, because we have some really great solutions here. It's a first step towards them being able to like reach that potential. So sorry to digress, but I wanted to share that as an example.
No, that was great. And that's one thing we talked about on this masterminding call today, is this idea of a mission statement for our team. And I said to Lindsay today, because we were on Zoom earlier, and I was like, did I miss the boat on that? Nobody ever told me to make a mission statement for my team. And then I was just like talking, and I was like, like in all of my posts, I talk about how like, my mission, without calling it a mission statement, is to help other people live happier, healthier, more self-loving lives. And if there's one thing that comes through for me when I talk to my coaches or when I talk to my customers, that self-love piece for me, like that's my buzzword. Like that's the one thing that I really love focusing on. And that's the one thing that they all can agree, like that's something that has changed drastically for them since, they decided to join my team. So, figure out like what your mission statement is. I encourage you to do that, because it just makes those conversations easier, because like what you're trying to do and what you have to give to others. Number 2, your transformation. Get results and share them. That doesn't just mean have a before and after where, maybe you need to do some work and now you've got washboard abs. That's not just what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this opportunity, both the health and fitness side of it and the business side of it offers you just like wild transformations, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's different for everybody. So, focus on how you have changed, since you started this opportunity, since you said yes and made this commitment to yourself. And like we were saying before, share that as a part of your story. And, like I was telling Lindsay earlier today, there's this girl that I've been meaning to reach out to, because she's been posting about like how her friends are being shady. And all I can think of is like, I have so many fierce, awesome, great girlfriends who like I really consider my lifelong friends, and they're people who were complete strangers to me 2 years ago. And we connected through this team, through this opportunity, and we're empowering one another, and we're cheering each other on, and we're telling each other to go for our dreams and just like get after it, and like raising each other's vibrations. And it's magical. And I just want to be like, girl, your friends, I've got friends, you know what I mean? Like share this community, like in any way that you see an in, like I'm so sorry to hear that like you're struggling in this way right now. Like I know it can be really hard to have, that close circle of girlfriends that you trust. Girls are hard to be friends with. And just like, have an easy flowing conversation from there. So number 3, Lindsay and I were trying to come up with 3 different C words, because we came up with community and convenience, and then we were like, what's another C word? So community, convenience, and containers. But containers technically stands for having a plan that requires little brain work. So why? Why would a person want to embark on this kind of a journey? Like focus on some of the main components of what this journey offers somebody. Community, which is huge. Support and accountability. Dude, 80% of people don't stick to what they're doing because they don't have the community that we have. That's why Carl Deichler and John Congdon were like, you know what? Like all these people are supporting each other and they're getting great results and they're cheering each other on. And alas, I think it was in 2007, Team Beachbody was born. Beachbody was there before, but Team Beachbody was born because of the community, like that people were just creating, and it was evolving naturally. So like that's majorly important, and people need that in their lives. And they need to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves to feel that like connection. Convenience. Hello. It's so convenient Like, let's talk about how you waste so much time going to and from the gym only to do something that is not functional fitness. You walk a little bit on the treadmill, maybe you lift a few weights and do a few crunches, and you're frustrated because you're not seeing the results you want. We have something that is designed scientifically to give people results on all accounts, nutrition and fitness. Hello, convenience. So containers, having a plan that requires little brain work. In other words, there's no counting calories, like there's no like depleting your body of the nutrients that it needs. There's a plan that's in place, and if you follow it, you're guaranteed to have success. Anything else that you do on your own, probably not so much unless you have, like education in that field. You know what I mean? Leading with questions. Sorry, I'm taking so long, Linz. I'm just like getting really passionate. You know how I roar sometimes. So leading with questions. Don't provide answers until you've heard theirs. In other words, ask questions about, so what has worked for you in the past? What kinds of exercise do you enjoy? What kinds of exercise do you hate? Where do you struggle the most? Like, what's your nutrition look like? Do you have any physical limitations I should be aware of? Do you have any dietary restrictions that I should be aware of? Like, is it that, you're struggling in the motivation station, as I call it? Or, are you feeling like you've never had like the support that you need to actually complete something? Is it, unfinished success over and over and over again? You get to a certain point and then you fall off. Like, ask these questions so that you have their answers and you can say, I feel, felt, and found. I feel like I can totally relate to you on XYZ. And I felt that way when I was going through XYZ. And, I didn't have any motivation to get up early to go to the gym before work. Didn't have the time, I found that these 30-minute workouts at home were the perfect solution to that. And I'm guaranteed results. Like, in so many words, obviously you're going to word it more effectively, but that's the gist of it, you guys. Don't provide answers until you've heard theirs. And then lastly, share how Shakeology and these programs have changed your life. But again, like Lindsay said, like, don't spew Beachbody lingo at them. You don't have to be like Shakeology and 21 Day Fix and this and that. I have this superfood shake that I drink that literally provides my body with everything that I need nutritionally in the course of a day. And here's how it's changed my life, And then maybe they're like, oh, like, I want to know more about this. Well, it's called Shakeology. Have you ever heard of it? Like, you don't have to give everything away all at once. You don't. It's like, it's atrocious. I had somebody do that to me just the other day, and I was like, I can't even respond to you. This is too much. But yes, so don't give it all away all at once. I know it's exciting, but
Megan, I have a quick question.
yes.
Is this one not timed at 40 minutes or is it capped at the 40?
No, Lindsay, it's Lindsay's account. So she pays for it. So it's like an hour.
Okay.
But we're not going to go for an hour. We just have 2 more slides. All right. And then not with the what. So in 2014, I looked at this date. The day after I signed up with my challenge pack, before I even started my journey, I reached out to Kayla Provost because I decided that the second I signed up with a challenge pack, I also wanted to be a coach. And Kayla and I were in a group on Facebook that our friend had put together for like a Tone It Up challenge where you had to walk 100 miles before Valentine's Day. And I went in the group and I was like, hey guys, guess what else I'm doing? Like, I'm going to start this program and it's going to help me with this challenge. Like, if you want more information, let me know. Like, totally annoying. Well, Kayla like commented on it, was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'd love to know. So I go, hey, Kayla, I'm so excited that you're interested. I'm excited to get started with the challenge too. The challenge is the 21 Day Fix with Beachbody. Let me ask you a few questions and we can go from there to see if this is the right fit for you. First, I'd like to know, have you ever done a Beachbody program before? And have you heard of the 21 Day Fix challenge? And she doesn't respond to me. So 6 minutes later, I say, you can watch the video for the challenge below. And I send her the link to the Beachbody promo video. Barf, right? She didn't answer me for another year. She literally got back to me a year later. I think your 1 year anniversary is something like October 14th, 2015 or something, Kayla. And you reached out to me maybe a couple days before that, and she was like, okay, like, I've been watching this girl. She has sort of shifted her mindset from being like Beachbody vomiter and salesy to realizing that it doesn't work for people, and maybe I can dig some of her posts on Facebook. And she has some credibility now because I've seen her get results, and I've seen her do these programs, and I've seen her share her story, and I connect with that. So maybe now I'll reach out to her. Well, she's on this call right now, and she's one of my coaches. But this is leading with the programs and the products, spewing Beachbody verbiage out at people. And I mean, granted, I hadn't even received my package yet, so it's not like I had results to share or I had an experience to share, but this is just something to keep in mind. Like, you always want to lead with your story, and Lindsay has a beautiful example of just that. So take it away, Linz.
So this was someone that I started noticing they were liking, like, you know, a couple things on my like page. And I didn't remember who she was, but I found out we both went to the same college at Stonehill. So what I tend to do when someone likes some of my stuff or likes my page, I'll go and like see who they are, see if we have mutual friends, and just reach out to them and be like, hey, thanks for liking my stuff. Like, and you can see at the end of my first thing, I said, I love connecting with other busy moms. Hope you had a great week. She told me she remembered me, and she saw that I'd posted it about a challenge on my like page and asked me about it. So basically, all I said to her was that I'm glad you found my page motivating. It's become a big passion of mine. So I'm immediately just like, didn't go into the challenge I posted about at first. I'm talking about how excited I am about what I do and how this has helped me so much since after my twins. And then I start talking about the challenge a little bit. I still don't mention any programs. I don't mention Beachbody or anything. And at the end, I put in I infuse my story. It's tough with kiddos to make time for ourselves sometimes. So this is kind of a way to sneak it in. Something that she can relate to, because I know that she is a full-time working mom, because I thought about her before I posted. So, her next question was, oh, is this through Beachbody? So people know we're Beachbody coaches, so we don't need to shove it in their faces as soon as we connect with them. This was more about connecting with us as people. Like, always go into it with their genuine interest in mind, figuring out okay, what are their needs and wants and desires, and how can I help them? So that's sort of an example of how you lead with your story and not with the product itself.
Love it. So the don't and then the do, of course. So at this point, hold on, I'm just going to stop share so that I can see everybody's faces. Hooray! At this point, I just sort of want to open it up to you guys. If you have any questions, or if you feel like you have, examples of conversations that, come to a dead halt, or you're like, what am I doing wrong? Or what should I be doing differently? Examples, screenshots, whatever. I'd love for you guys to, ask any questions and or unmute yourselves, comments, anything.
I have something to add. I was going to text it to you later anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just chatting with someone who I had invited, and it goes right back to what you're saying about your post needing to be who you are and connecting with people on an actual topic and purpose. So she was like, so we were talking about that, and she's like, what's really weird? Actually, I had 2 random friend requests, and they both were harmless, so I added them both. And one of them was you, and someone was this other girl. And now you both want me to sign up for this thing. How weird is that? And I was just like, oh, okay. And I just continued on what we were talking about. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And then she was like, but if I do decide to do this, my choice is obvious, ... Clark, my dog. For any of you who don't know.
But did you meet her in a dog group?
Yeah.
See, there you go. Brenna is in German Shepherd group.
Clark's twin. It's actually his twin.
No, see, I love that so much, because that you obviously, because it sounds like you got to know each other through the group, and so you have a connection with each other, and so now you're just having a more natural conversation about what you're doing. So I love that.
And I've totally had those conversations where it's more, you know, like I'm not going to like not invite people who I do form with and click with, but like, you know, it is different when they're a mom and I'm a single dog mom that's a grad student with 2 jobs. Like, it's a totally different thing. I can relate because my life is busy, which is like 99% of the world. But
Right.
when you have that connection of like dog or like something specific, then
Doesn't
you
feel as
really-
natural kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one thing I will say is that for me, because when I started this business, I was teaching. I was a kindergarten teacher. I was like super private, you know, like none of what I put out on social media, Instagram, everything was super private. I wasn't adding to my network. I wasn't joining interest groups to connect with new people. And in doing that, I know I did myself a huge disservice. I mean, obviously I worked through my warm market and I made all these connections and reconnected with my warm market and people who already knew, trusted me, etc. But I mean, at some point, I mean, and sooner rather than later, like 5 minutes ago, you needed to start adding to your network because there are so many people out there, you guys, who need our help. And you find them in the funniest places, honestly. But I mean, Brenna's example is a really great example, you know, like that's the thing. There are a lot of Beachbody coaches, but anytime somebody's like, oh, like the market's saturated or whatever else, I just laugh because there is no one else out there like you. Like you are the face of your business. What you put out there is what you're going to get 100% of the time. You. So start sharing start sharing your story, and start telling your story to yourself, you know, like get confident in it. And Brenny.
Yeah, I really do recommend writing it down. Like take a word, like empty Word doc and just start word vomiting. Like don't think about it. Just like write it. Or if you like video better, like do a video. But it helps so much. It really does.
That's what I was just going to say. Like literally write down, like, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What do you want to like to do? Like random things that you're good at, like what's in your life, what do you want to be in your life, like all of that stuff you can find a Facebook group for. It might not have a ton of people in it, but there's still some people you could connect with.
Absolutely. And what's crazy, speaking of that, I just started adding myself to food sensitivity and food chemical sensitivity and gluten sensitivity and sugar free and sugar sensitivity groups. And for those of you who know my story, like that is my story. I was so sick before I found Shakeology. I was living in hospitals, like on so many medications, on so many supplements, so ill, like actually ill. And I'm like, why didn't I think to add myself to these groups sooner? Because I mean, all of these people, are suffering, or maybe, you know, by choice, because for me, it was sort of by choice. Like I had to do all these elimination diets to kind of see my way to being well again. Like they all have that in common with me. And which is another reason why I started using my Sensitive Life page, because Lindsay was like, Meg, that's who you are. You need to get back to that. That's the other thing. Lindsay has a really great way of unblocking people, getting them unstuck from themselves. Like she said, she does a damn good job at it. And I just connected with a girl who literally to a T is me, but the me before Beachbody. She lives in Canada. And she's on this wild elimination diet and she's so sick. And I'm like, oh, girl, like, and she asked me about the shakes yesterday. But it's amazing. Like you're not going to find like all of your people, your tribe in your friends list right now. You're not. There are so many people in this world. So start connecting with them and do it fearlessly. Truly.
And Meg just made a good point too that I feel like I talked to Kelsey about earlier as well, is that like you don't need to, like when we talk about not bringing up Beachbody or shakes right away in conversations, like once you start getting to talk to a bunch of people, the same questions start coming up in a way. Answer them really directly in your social media. Like,
Mhm.
you don't have to have like these pushy conversations with people. But think about it, like, you know, I was getting a lot of questions about when I have my shake, you know? I'm like, I better answer this. Whenever the heck I want to have my shake, whenever I need it. It's my whenever I need it shake. And I did a post about it. So like, get like fueled, not fuel, but like ideas. Get creative ideas from these conversations you're having with everyone. Because if they're having this question, I guarantee like a ton of people have the same question.
Mhm. I've had people, ask me like, their concern is like what's in the shake, and that's literally what's like saved my life, right? So yeah, I breadcrumb the shit out of what's in the shake all the time, and that doesn't mean riddling off all 70 superfoods that are in the shake, because that's like done. But like talking to people, talking in my post to the person who wants to know what's in the shake and how it has healed my body, and like making sure that I mentioned there are no added sugars, it's non-GMO, like all the things that matter to people who are health conscious. You know what I mean?
And you're saying it in a way as if you'd say it to someone in a coffee shop. Like you're
Right.
not like you said, dishing off ingredients. Like
Right.
we're going, it's all about the people behind this. The how can sharing this help somebody right now? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, was that helpful? I hope that was helpful to everybody. And you're always more than welcome to, like, if you have conversations that you're struggling with or feeling stuck with, like, please know that, like, I'm here, Meg's here, like, we're all here for each other to help with that. So yeah, we're always here to help.
Yes. And I'm taking a screenshot. And one thing.
I was like this.
Okay, hold on. Everybody smile. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, and one last thing. I am going to start every single week. I'm going to post in my team page and take a poll. So my peeps, listen up. And obviously anybody's welcome to come in. I am going to start hosting a call weekly called Confidence in Conversations. So you show up to the team call with your conversations, and we screen share and we talk about what can be tweaked and twerked and fixed and said differently, so that you're feeling confident about what you're saying to people and what you're sharing with people and the way you're inviting people to XYZ opportunity, business opportunity, or challenge group. Because at the heart of this, you guys, is your confidence in your conversations. I mean, point blank. If you're not believing in what you're sharing, then the person on the other end, sure as hell, is not gonna believe you either. And they're gonna be like, see you never. And they're gonna wait a year to respond to you like provost. But it's fine. She was worth the wait. So, confidence in conversations. We'll chat about a day and a time that works best for everyone. And I'm more than happy to do that for anybody on this team, honestly. Because for me, I feel like that's where I'm most confident. And if I can help you guys in any way, that's my job.
That'll be awesome, Meg. Honestly, I know my team would love that too. So
awesome.
Yay!
Yay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming, and make sure to post the recording in the team page. And yeah, love you all, and thank you so much.
Love you guys. Have a good rest of your night.
Good night. Thanks.